Welcome to Love Talk. My name is Gregory Morgan. I'm here to talk about love and relationship and what works with men and women. Anything that has to do with human relationships, that's what this show is about. And I promise to deliver some great information that will give you tips and techniques and advice that you could use right away to deepen your relationships and to have more fun and intimacy and love in your relationships. We'll go ahead and open the phone lines up. Hello, this is Gregory. You are live on the air with Love Talk.
Hi, I just wanted to first of all say thank you so much for your program, and it's really a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you.
And I have actually been seeing a very nice guy for a while. It's a long-distance relationship. The relationship actually requires that, if we really get serious, possibly marry each other, I have to move because he's very established in his job, and I'm at a transition in my life. Last time he was actually here, he asked me what I think about our relationship, if I want to take it to the next level, and what we're going to be doing. And I'm in Europe and he is in the U.S. And the differences that are between here and there, and some of the things that concern him. And now it's been about 2 months after we talked about this, and he never brought up the topic again. So I was just actually listening to your CD, the 12 stages of romantic relationships, and I realized that there you say, you should at some point you should be talking about all these things. And I was just wondering if I should bring this topic up. I really need to plan. I'm one of those people who likes to plan ahead of time. If I should bring it up again, and how should I bring it up?
Great, that's brilliant. Is that because of he's very established and you're just like kind of graduating school and haven't quite yet started your career? Is that the reason?
Yes.
Okay, got it. And is that okay with you? Would you like to move to the United States? Let's just start with that.
I think it's a great opportunity also to experience a new life, and I'm always open to that.
Okay, so I wanted to handle the geographical situation first. That's something that's real, it's measurable, it's concrete. And moving to another country means a whole lot of stuff, like paperwork and legal things and financial things that quite serious, yes?
Yes.
Yeah, nothing to be taken lightly, nothing to be done on a fling. For somebody who's thinking about planning their life, a young woman, what's your age group? How old are you?
I'm 25.
So you're 25, and so very good, rightly so, you should be planning your life, right? This is a prime time for you to be considering a career if that's what you're going to have, a marriage if that's what you're going to have. And I want to say that those kind of things right there already fall into kind of two categories, and you need to figure out which one you want to be. There are married women who have a career, and there are career women who are married. Which one would you like to be?
I'm pretty much very well educated. I have a few bachelors, and I'm going for a PhD very soon. But I think that I would rather be the first one. I'd rather be a married woman with a career.
With a career. Okay, I just wanted to know which one came first for you, because it's essential to know that about yourself.
Sure.
And you can't bait and switch somebody. You can't marry them and then later change your mind and say, the career is more important than the marriage, because that's just very damaging to you and everybody else, right? So if you know that about yourself going in, that's good to know. So that's you've already sort of ahead of the game knowing that about yourself. And so the next thing is this geographical thing. Here's my overall advice on this. Do not change countries and residences without a big ring on your finger.
I'm not gonna move unless we are married.
Thank you. Because a lot of people these days want to give it a test drive, right? It never works out in the woman's favor. It always is in the man's favor when you do that. When women move in with men and have sort of a trial marriage by sort of living together for a while, it's never to your advantage. It's never to the female's advantage for a number of reasons that we could do a whole seminar and workshop on. But the 12 stages of romantic relationships explains it pretty clearly, doesn't it?
Yes. Yeah. I love that Porsche example of yours. I say to everybody.
Yeah. Marriage is a business deal. I don't mean to strip away all the romanticism about it, but if you want to just love somebody and make love with them and be a lover, then be a lover. But if you want to be married, marriage is a business deal because it involves laws and property and bank accounts and your whole family and their whole family and children that aren't even born yet and their children. So marriage is a big deal, and it is a business deal, and it needs to be very clear where you stand going into it. And it shouldn't be like some kind of thing that, well, we'll try this out and see how it works, because for the man, he can move on. For the woman, she can move on too, but she gets very, very attached in a way that men don't, hormonally. Also, we talk about in the 12 stages about the power of pogortude, yes? The power of grace and beauty that we as a culture grant to the young and beautiful 25-year-old women in our lives, a certain power that they have and that enables them to command the attention and the loving and the affection of a large variety of men from every age, right? From 16-year-olds to 80-year-olds, they'll be attracted to a 25-year-old woman if she's young and beautiful and in good shape, right? You don't want to throw that away. And that only lasts for a certain time. That lasts for about 20 years, from the ages of, say, 20 to 40. And if you haven't secured your life by then, your lifestyle and your life and your career, and in that stretch of time, then the chances of doing that later on are pretty narrow. So that's what we talk about in the 12 stages. And so your call was about, should you approach him about this? Yes?
Yes,
Yeah.
especially because, we talked about this. He brought it up first time, and he said all of these things and some of his concerns, and he said, besides the fact that he likes me a lot and, he really wants us to get somewhere, there are concerns that he sees for me mainly because he thinks that, he's going to be there, he's going to have his job and his family and everything, and it's going to be a huge step for me. I have to jump from from the other side of the world to United States, and he was just a little concerned about me, so he wanted me to think very clearly about this, and he said he will think about it very clearly also. Then since then he never talked about it, so I wasn't sure if I should bring it up or just just go with the flow and see what happens.
No, don't go with the flow.
Considering me though,
Don't go with the flow. In line with what I was just saying, you have a time period in your life in which to leverage this power of pogortude, this grace and beauty, into a secure situation. Here's the thing, and it's kind of bad news, but there's also some good news with it. The bad news is that human beings, particularly the male portion of the species, are not designed by nature for long-term relationships. We are designed by nature, our sexual drives, yours too, by the way, females too. In the program of human nature, we are designed to propagate our genetics. We're designed to assure the propagation of our genetic line. Make sure that it lives on. That's how nature designed us. So we are attracted to, why do you think men are attracted to all that equipment you women have, right? Because we're looking for the fertile one that we can impregnate. These days, men don't even know that. It's just a primal urge. It's long lost in their memory, but still the program's in there. It's a primitive program, but it's still running the software, if you will. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, so men are designed to gain access to sexuality for the least amount of investment, which, back in the caveman days or in earlier days, that meant, horses and, whatever else they had to trade for or to show to provide protection and provisions for a woman and her children. Marriage was, in the beginning, was basically about joining fortunes. It was about securing the grace of a powerful father-in-law. And so marriage was established as allies with women, almost like the trading thing, the chattel, if you will. It has evolved, of course. And now, today, women can support themselves. They can even have children without being married, and they can raise those children without being married. So that whole game has changed, and yet the driving force behind it, the sexuality and the sexual attraction, is still there, of course, and thank God for that.
Yes.
That's a good thing. Some of the things that women think are going to get them a long-term relationship are completely erroneous. In other words, being sexually attractive will certainly get his attention and have him want to be a part of your life, but it doesn't, because of the internal design of men, it doesn't necessarily assure that he will stick around.
Right.
Even if you have his children, it doesn't assure that he'll stick around. So women have developed something, and I told you there was a module that was added later, and I'm going to talk about that. So this is that part. Women have developed a capacity, proven over centuries now, of communicating in such a way that it would have men want to stay with them and their children for a lifetime.
Right.
And that is the capacity that is very delicate, yes? It's a learned capacity that women developed over time through being in communication. Men don't communicate that much. Men ran through forests and were developed as hunters, so mostly they didn't talk unless it was to get something done strategically. So they developed very sharp eyesight, sharp listening, but women developed holding babies and communicating with other women and gathering food and protecting children and each other like that. So they developed a whole other way of communicating amongst themselves that have men want to be a part of that world. And this is the skill that I'm hoping that women will begin to develop, and that's what we teach in these workshops that we do. All of that about this question you have, should I bring it up with him? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. He brought it up, and that's an honorable thing. I'm glad that he brought that up. And that his concern was actually for your well-being is also a very good sign. Yeah, it shows that he's really thinking about you and that he's taking care about you. And so I see no harm in you approaching the subject by saying, you know, we spoke about this earlier, and we haven't spoken about it since. But in the meantime, I've been thinking about it, and this is my thoughts on those. Can I tell you that? Is now a good time or later? So by doing that, you're asking permission to tell him your thoughts, yes?
Right.
And that shows respect. Men like that. You're showing respect for his thinking. When you're talking about your thinking, I'm recommending to women, now this may sound weird to you, but I'm trying to teach you the skills for having men stick around, right? Men like to be respected. So if you ask permission, I have some thoughts about this, can I share them with you? You're asking permission. Of course you can share them. What's he going to say? No, right? But you've shown respect. You've left the choice over there with him, and he's going to say, probably yeah, right? I'd like to hear your thoughts. And also you could say, is now a good time or is later better? That again shows respect for his time. And when a man feels respected, he feels loved. You guys should write that down. Women, when your man feels, when he feels respected, he feels loved. Respect equals love for men. And that's how men love each other too, by the way. When men love each other, like comrades in arms on the field, the bond between bands of brothers, they respect each other, and that's how they show their love. And so when they feel respect from a woman, they feel they've been loved, all right? You want to make your man feel loved, and then ask him a question, give him some respect, okay? Then tell him how you feel about it. Tell him your thoughts, because you've asked permission and he wants to hear your thoughts. Then tell him how you feel, because a masculine man will want you to feel good. And he's already kind of shown that, right?
Yes.
Right? He's shown that he wants you to feel good. He cares about your feelings. That's what a masculine man does for his woman. He cares about her feelings. He wants her to feel good. So tell him how you would feel about it. And then watch his response. I would feel so much better if. I feel that if we were together, that would be a good thing for the rest of my life. In other words, express your true feelings about it. And then let him deal with his response to your feelings. If he's a masculine man that wants to take care of a woman, and I hope he is if you're thinking about marrying him, he will take care of your feelings first. A masculine man takes care of the woman's feelings first. In other words, it's part of an expression of masculinity to kind of put my feelings aside and see what her feelings are all about. We'll deal with my feelings later when she feels good. That's what masculine men do. A feminine man will say, hey, but wait a minute, my feelings are more important than your feelings, and he'll have some expression of that, saying, well, your feelings, he'll push those aside and tell you his feelings. That's a feminine man that's not really ready to take care of a woman yet. His feelings are more important than yours. He's looking for a mother.
I see.
You see, that's what men do with their mothers. Mommy, I feel like this, fix how I feel bad.
Right.
That's a little boy to a mom. A man to a woman is, he holds his feelings to himself and he says, how can I help you feel better? And he says that in however ways he says that, but that's what you want to be listening for. Is he taking care of my feelings or his?
That's true.
Yeah? And men, when women are taken care of emotionally, when they feel protected and taken care of, they feel loved. Am I right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. If we respect you, that doesn't necessarily feel like love. I mean, it's important to you, but that we take care of you emotionally, financially, in some way we put our concerns aside to take care of you, then you feel loved, yes?
Yes.
Yeah, if you want your woman to feel loved, take care of her. Don't tell her your problems. Deal with your problems and help her take care of hers. That's a masculine gesture. It shows nobility. It shows self-restraint. You know, if there's a tiger that comes in the door, you're going to jump in front of it to make sure it doesn't get the woman. That's what, you know. metaphorically speaking, right? If there's a wolf at the door, don't worry, honey, I'll take care of it. If there's a sound outside at night, you stay here, I'll go take care of it, right? Women need to feel that they're taken care of.
Right, and, this is one of the things that annoyed me a little bit, that, why didn't he ever bring it up again,
He may be scared.
I'm at a very, very critical point where I have to make all of these decisions in a couple of months, It just, it's probably the only thing that I see that, it bothered me a little bit, why didn't he bring it up again, why should I do that, it's usually, at least this is what I think, that it's usually a man's job to say these kind of things,
I tend to agree with you. However, there is one caveat that you might want to consider in this. And that is, nature has equipped you, a little background here, to make love inside your body, generate a new life form inside your body, feed it with your body, be bonded to it for a lifetime, and the ability to communicate your feelings and all this kind of stuff verbally and non-verbally in so many different ways. I would say that the female is far more equipped to manage a relationship than a male is. Would you agree?
Yes.
I think women are much more equipped to manage a relationship. Like if somebody's really, really good with numbers, they're maybe equipped to handle the accounting, okay?
Right.
Let's let them do that, right? Not the one that says, oh, I hate math. Okay, don't do the accounting. I'll do it. I like math. The one that communicates and that nurtures life and that for whom life is sacred because it happens inside your body, right? You should manage the relationship. I would much rather have a woman manage the relationship and be the one. Now, manage the relationship, not the man. I'm going to say it again. Manage the relationship, not the man. Big distinction. Women tried managing their men. You should do this, you should do that. That's managing a man. That'll just make him mad. It's disrespectful. But you can manage something that you guys have together called the relationship. This is something I'm concerned about here, and I need to make some choices and decisions. I have some feelings and thoughts about it, and so it's time for us to talk about it. Would now be okay. Now you're not managing the man, you're just managing your relationship. That's a responsible thing to do, and I'd rather have you do that than him. He might do it. And it's kind of like, one of my friends says, you could teach maybe a chimpanzee to do heart surgery, right?
Yes.
But would you want him to do your heart surgery? Right? Men can manage a relationship. I'm not saying they can't. They just, they can, but women are far better equipped for that.
Right.
They are. And so for that reason alone, it sort of falls upon you, the duty and responsibility to sort of speak up and manage this thing. You have more at stake, too. You have more at stake. You have you're desirable as long as you're young and beautiful and fertile. Right. Sorry, but that's how it works. I didn't make up these rules. It's just how nature designed us. So your value is that. And so as long as you value that, men will always value that. So you have a job to manage that as if your parents left you a huge trust account. It's your job to manage that and make sure it prospers and doesn't get used up, right?
If I do that, it doesn't sound like I'm chasing him or anything or pushing him into anything,
No, I think that you have this relationship that you say you've had and you're in communication on a regular basis, then it's time to, you need to be responsible for your life and say, okay, how long have you been in this relationship?
About 8 months.
Okay, it's time to step forward and either I need to, and it's as simple as this, I need to know where this is going. This is my thoughts, these are my feelings. Where are you at about this? I need to know where this is going, and I need to make some decisions about it soon because in the next couple of months, things are going to change for me.
True.
Hey, listen, my wife gave me a timeline. I didn't like it. Okay, but she said, look, we've been going together for 3 months or so, and, I need to know where this is going, and, you can think about it for a few weeks, but if you haven't made up your mind about something, the next, I don't know, she gave me some date. I thought, how dare you? I was thinking like, how dare you do that? But you know what? I respected it. It's like, I've got other things to do. There's men that want to marry me and, I'm a certain age and I want to get married. And so if it's not you, then next.
Welcome to Love Talk. My name is Gregory Morgan. I'm here to talk about love, relationships,
either step up or
men and women.
step off.
That has to do with human relationships. That's what this show's about.
That's called managing your life.
I promise to deliver some great information that will give
I
you
was actually
tips
concerned
and
about one more
techniques
thing
and
because I was
advice
talking
that
to
you
one of
can
my
use
friends
right away
about this,
to
and
deepen
the
your
fact that he
relationships
was
and to
concerned
have
about some
more
of the
fun and
issues.
intimacy
She
and
was
love
telling
in
me, I said,
relationships.
I really
We'll go ahead
want
and
a
open
woman
the
who
phone
really
lines up.
wants you.
Hello,
She
this is
should be like,
Gregory.
yes,
You
I'm
are are live on the air with
but
Love
don't
Talk.
worry about it. I'm going to be here. I'm going to be taking care of it for you. You don't worry. You go. We'll do this together. We can do this.
Okay, I got it. I told you short.
Should I be concerned that he?
Yeah, a man that wants a woman in his life is going to do whatever it takes to have that woman in his life. And yeah, if he's got the financial wherewithal to say, look, don't worry about it. Here's your plane ticket. Get your stuff together. And if you need some help with that, I'll fly over there and help you put your furniture and stuff in order. Whatever it is you got to do, let's get this relationship on the road. And by the way, here's a big, fat diamond ring. I'm always exaggerating about the big, fat thing because I know Persian women like nice big diamonds, and I think you should have that.
He never brought up the topic again. Very much. It means a lot to me and cleared up a lot of things for me. Thank you so much.
Yes. All right. Thank you. Thanks for calling. Yeah. You too. Bye-bye. Hello, this is Gregory. You are live on the air with Love Talk. Thanks for holding.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Hi,
How are you?
I'm good. How about you?
Excellent. Thanks.
Yes.
I'm 46 years old. I have a boyfriend. We've been together for 9
Great,
years.
that's brilliant. Is that because of he's very established and you're just like kind of graduating school?
And where's he at about it?
Started your career? Is that the reason? Okay, got it. And is that okay with you? You want to? I mean, would you like to move to the United States? I mean, let's just start with that.
Yeah, that's what guys say that don't want to put their real estate and the title of the car and
I
the
wanted
bank
to handle
account
the
on the line with the woman
geographical
that they've been
situation
sleeping
first.
with
That's
for
something
9
that's
years.
real,
like
it's
people
measurable,
asking me
it's
how long you guys
concrete,
been
and
together,
moving to
when I'm
another
saying we've
country
been together for
means
9
a
years,
whole
like,
lot of stuff.
That's like me
paperwork
going down and getting my
legal
favorite car,
things and
driving it for
financial
9
things
years,
that's quite
and then they
serious,
want me to
yes?
pay for it. I
Yeah,
don't
nothing
want
to be taken
Yeah,
lightly, nothing to be
also,
done
he
on a
always
fling.
told
For
me,
somebody who is thinking about planning their life, a young woman,
you have to
what's your age
understand
group? How old are
No,
you?
he has to understand you.
So you're 25, and so very good, rightly so, you should be planning your life, right?
Well,
this is a
listen,
prime time
I'm sorry to
for
tell
you
you,
to be
but that at
considering
age,
a career if that's what you're going to
37,
have, a
you
marriage if
bought
that's what
into
you're going to
something.
have. And I want to say that
46
those
and
kind of
he's
things right there
48,
already fall
Okay,
into
you're
kind of
46
two
and he's
categories,
48.
and
So
you need
when
to
you
figure
were
out
when you
which
were
one
37,
you want to be.
he
There
convinced
are
you that
married women
living
who
with
have
him
a career,
would be
and
a
there
good
are career
idea,
women
and that
who are
marriage was
married.
just a
Which
piece
one
of
would
paper.
you like
You've been
to be?
listening to that for all this time, so it's kind of late for you to be trying to change the tide on that, because he's already had the privilege for 9 years of having a wife without having anything at stake. I mean, there's some states that have
okay, I just
alimony
wanted to know
laws.
which
In other
one
words, you live
came
with somebody
first
at
for
the same
you,
address
because
for a
it's
certain number
essential
of
to
years.
know that about
They consider
yourself.
that half their
And
real
you
estate
can't
is yours.
bait and
But
switch
good luck
somebody.
trying
You
to
can't
get it.
marry them
If
and
you
then
ever
later change your
separated,
mind
you'd
and
have
say,
to
you know,
file
the
a
career is more
palimony
important
suit
than the
and all that
marriage,
kind of stuff.
because
So I'm
that's
just saying, I mean,
very
not that
damaging
you want to get
and
married,
everybody
not
else,
divorced,
right?
but
So
basically you're not
if you know that
married,
about yourself
even
going
though
in, that's good
you
to
are.
know.
You're
So
just not
that's
married on
you've
paper.
already sort of ahead of the
Have
game.
you guys been true to
knowing
each
that
other
about
for
yourself.
9 years?
And
Yes,
so
we've
the
been
next thing
together
is this
for 9 years,
geographical
and
thing.
also now
Here's
he
my
brought his
overall
kids.
advice on this.
I
Do
do
not
understand
change
because I got a big
countries
baggage. My children, they already grown up.
residences
But
without
his
a
children,
big
they still.
ring
One of them
on
is
your finger.
13 years old, and the other one is 16.
Have you been
Thank
acting
you,
as
because
a
a lot
mother
of
to these
people
children?
these
In other words,
days want to
do
give it a
you fix
test
food
drive,
for them?
right?
You
Actually,
prepare
the
their
never
clothing?
works out
they
in the
used to
woman's
live with their
favor. It
mother.
always
They
is in the
just
man's favor
moved
when you
back
do
with
that.
the father
When
because
women move in
one of
with
the
men
sons,
and have
he
sort
has
of a
depression,
trial
and
marriage
also
by
she
sort of
just
living together
got
for a while,
separated.
it's
The
never
son
to
got
your
separated
advantage.
from
It's never
who?
to the
From his
female's advantage
ex-wife.
for a number
How
of
old is this
reasons
son?
that we can
The
do a whole
son is
seminar and
16
workshop
years
on.
old.
But
And he's
the
been
12
married
stages
and
of romantic
separated and
relationships
depressed already?
explains it pretty
No,
clearly,
actually,
doesn't
no,
it?
sorry,
Yeah.
I said it. No, he brought his kids here. One of them is
Yeah,
15, the other one
marriage
is
is
16.
a
But,
business deal.
the
I don't
16
mean to
years
strip
old
away
has
all the
depression. That's
romanticism
why
about
he
it,
is going
but
to
if you
hurt
want to
me.
just love
I see.
somebody and
What
make
is
love
his
to them
ability to help him?
and be a lover, then be a lover.
far from
But if
the
you want to be
city
married,
we
marriage
live.
is a business deal
So
because
now
it
he
involves
rents a place
laws
for
and
them, and
property
he's telling me I
bank
have to still
accounts
wait.
and your
So
whole
he's
family
trying
and
to
their
help
whole
his
family
children.
and
I don't
children that aren't
really
even
mind.
born yet and
But
their
how
children.
about
So
me?
marriage
Well,
is a big
what
is
deal.
gonna
happen to
Yeah,
me?
so
business
why don't
deal,
you
and
mind? Why don't you mind? When you say that to me, I hear a whole bunch of stuff that a lot of other people don't
and it shouldn't
hear.
be like
Want to know
some
what I
kind of
hear?
thing that, well, we'll try
When
this
you
out
say it
and see
doesn't
how it
matter
works,
to
because
me,
For the man, he can move on. For the woman, she can move on too, but she gets very, very attached in a way that
what
we
I
don't,
hear
hormonally.
is somebody who
also,
hasn't valued
we talk about in the 12 stages about the power of
valued
the power of grace and beauty that we as a culture grant
privilege and honor it is to have a lovely, loving, devoted, sexy, fun, loving woman around that lives in your house and sleeps with you and helps you take care of your life and is your partner.
From every
That's
age,
a privilege.
right?
That
From
is a
16-year-olds to
very
80-year-olds, they'll be attracted to a 25-year-old
throughout history have paid a very high price to have.
Right? You don't want to throw that away. And that only lasts for a certain time.
You
that
gave
lasts
it to
for
him
about 20 years, from the ages of, say, 20 to 40.
Don't
and
value yourself. You haven't valued yourself. You haven't looked in the mirror and said, you're really somebody. You have a great deal of value in this world. I'm only going to open my heart and my body.
So that's what we talk about in the 12 stages. So your call was about
devoted to this relationship and to making sure that our lives prosper together as I am. You've put yourself beneath by making him more important than you, and so he gets all the privileges and you basically get nothing. If he said get out, would you even have anything?
No, I don't.
You don't have anything, right? Except unless he gives it to you. Yeah, unless he gives it to you. And if he decides to be a jerk and take it all and leave you with nothing, you got nothing, all right? And at 46 is a little bit late to be thinking about this. I'm sorry to be hard on you like this, but hey, snap out of it.
That's why I always tell him I'm not getting younger. I'm 46 years old. I want to do something in my life. I mean, I don't need his money. I have my everything. But
okay, it's good if you have your own stuff.
I really love him, and then
well, if you want to be married, that's one thing. If you want to be married to him, that's an entirely other thing. Okay, if you have your own finances and you have the wherewithal to literally move into your own space with your own furniture and your own parking spot and your own television and your own kitchen and your own career and everything else, then that's something else. That's actually a good thing. I hope that you do have that.
Yes, I financially, I have my job and I have
okay, good.
I have my house and I don't really.
Okay, good.
I don't really need his.
Okay, good.
Like money or go to live with him or.
Okay, that's great. That's great. If I were you, I would say if I'm not married in the next 6 months, then I'm going to move back to my house.
Make sure that
every year, you know what? I don't know.
In fact, for you, I would say 3 months. You know what I mean? Give him time to plan some kind of wedding, but just say, you know what? You're taking on something that I didn't sign up for. I did not sign up to take care of a 16-year-old depressed guy. Sorry.
And also, you know what? I really want to be with him and help him for his children.
If you will.
But his children,
so men are designed to gain access to sexuality for the least amount of investment, which, back in the caveman days or in earlier days, that meant, horses and, whatever
you're
else
the
they
slave.
had to trade for or to show.
You are. You're in a codependent relationship, in which a codependent relationship, there's always one person who's the 100%, the star, the one, and the other person is always zero. Another name for this, they call it codependent relationship. I also call it 0-100, and another way of saying it is master-slave, okay? And guess which one you are?
Oh my God.
Yeah, and so look, if you don't value yourself, how was anybody else? Your only job right now as a 46-year-old woman, and I'm assuming that you're attractive and that because 46-year-old women are, I'm 58, so they're looking pretty good to me these days. I'm sure that you're still a fine-looking woman and can probably attract a lot of guys. So your job,
that's a good thing,
madam.
But I don't know. This is the way we brought up. This is our part of our culture. I don't know.
Okay, well, you don't have to do that.
I don't know.
You don't have to do that. I don't care how you were brought up. I wasn't brought up the way I am. I brought myself up. I had to step all over a lot of people's belief systems and codes of behavior to get out of my town, out of my parents' religion, out of code of ethics that I was brought up with. And I've developed my own that I own because I I thought of it. I learned it. I absorbed it. I gave it some thought. I said, this is what I value, and that other stuff, I don't know what. That's somebody else's values that was handed down to me, and I never questioned it. And I'm sure the same is true for you. Most people grow up in a cultural, religious, familial environment in which they absorb directly without thinking before you can even talk. You've absorbed certain values that you never question. It's just that's the way it is. As if the rules were made up to the game before you ever got to the game. And you find yourself playing a game that's not even your game. It's not even, you didn't sign up for that game. Your parents just gave it to you, and that's the game you've been playing your whole life. And this show and everything that I teach is about challenging the things that you believe. What do you believe really? What really works for you? If it doesn't work for you, reject that. I'm really asking you to take a look at your own life and value yourself as a woman, as a human being, and really see your own value and before it's too late. It's not too late, but there will be a time in which what you want and what you need and who you are will kind of become irrelevant because you will have thrown your life away.
Yeah, but sometimes I'm thinking I better stop nagging and every year same story. Oh, I give you 6 months.
I think you should stop nagging too. I think you should move out. I already told you.
Yeah.
I think you should say, you know what? I've given this thing 9 years and it doesn't look like it's getting better. All of a sudden now it looks like it's going to get worse.
Actually, it's getting worse.
It's like if we were playing poker, okay? And you got dealt a hand and I got dealt a hand, okay? And I put my car keys and my house and everything on the table. I say, I'm betting on this hand, right? And you said, no, I'll play, but I'm only going to give you this brand new pair of glasses. That's what I'm betting. So now we've got my house and car keys and everything bet against your pair of glasses. Is this a fair game?
No, it's not.
No, but you are betting your youth, your vitality, your fertility, your beauty, your life as a woman against what? He's got nothing on the table. He's got nothing. If he left, you would have nothing of his, and if you left, he would still have all his stuff, right? At least play a 50-50 game. Right now, I think he's got the upper hand on that.
When he feels respected, he feels loved.
Forget it. You sold out. I'm sorry, lady. You completely sold out 9 years ago. You're living with a married man. You're his mistress.
But they've been separated.
It doesn't matter. He's married. He's married. If he died tomorrow, his wife gets the house. You know it and I know it. He knows it too. And she knows it. They all know it. You're the mistress. You're the live-in mistress. That's what you are. How long are you going to play that game? There's no winning in that game.
There's not.
Okay, so how long do you want to play that?
Actually, this is my last year.
I would say this is my last week. If I were you, you're so embroiled, you're so completely hormonally, emotionally, spiritually, and attached to this person and to this lifestyle that you've kind of sold out. You need to pull your own life together. You're living with a married man. You are his mistress, and you don't have a leg to stand on, to bargain with, none of that. This guy doesn't want to divorce his wife.
He's saying he's working on it.
He's a liar, and you're a fool, and you know it. I'm not being mean. I'm just telling it like it is. Yeah, I'm not trying to be mean. You're just a fool because you're acting like you believe a liar. You know he's a liar. What are you going to do about it? Because now you've called here, you've got a turning point. You can either play like you didn't hear this conversation and keep going on with your life, or you have to do something about it, or just keep living the way you're living, knowing that at least now you know. It's been brought up to the surface, and I believe you called here because you needed somebody to encourage you, sometimes known as a kick in the butt, to do something about your life, because you see that it's going nowhere fast. What's going to happen is you're going to get old and undesirable, and guess what he's going to do? I've seen it 1,000 times, and so have you. You'll just get a younger mistress. That's what happens.
But he always telling me he want to be with me, he want to get married with me.
Yeah, no, a man that wants to get married with, I got that. Listen, when a man wants to catch a duck, he has a little thing that quacks like a duck. When he wants to catch a deer, he puts on deer scent and hides in the bushes and makes deer calls. When he wants to catch a woman, he says things that will make her stick around.
I'm the one. I have to do something about it.
Well, yeah, you could keep pretending, but you have a few.
Talk to myself. I deserve better than this.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Well, actually, you deserve exactly what you got because of the actions you took that got you there. Anybody that sticks around with a married man for 9 years consistently says, "Oh, I really want to be with you," but stays married and doesn't even file divorce papers or propose marriage, you actually deserve what you got. Now, if you want something else, then you need to change who you're being, not just your environment. You need to start with changing your environment, then you need to change your behavior, and then you need to change your beliefs, and then you need to change your actual identity, who you are for yourself. And that's something that you're not capable of doing by yourself, by the way, and I really suggest that you get someone like myself or my wife, a powerful coach that can help you shift your consciousness really quickly, because that's what we do, and that's why we're here. We're able to help people to shift their life dramatically in a very short period of time.
She's going to yell at me.
Well, I'm yelling at you, aren't I?
Why didn't he bring it up again?
So what? It's because we love you.
I tend to agree with you. However, there is one caveat.
I'm yelling at you. It's just, it's called ruthless compassion. I love you. That's why I'm yelling at you.
Little background here.
Thank you very much.
Make love inside your body.
You're welcome. Goodbye.
Generate a new life form inside your body. Feed it with your body, be bonded to it for a lifetime, and the ability to communicate your feelings and all this kind of stuff verbally and non-verbally in so many different ways. I would say that the female is far more equipped to manage a relationship than a male is. Would you agree? I think women are much more equipped to
is it her kids too?
Like if somebody's really good with numbers.
Okay, so he didn't marry their mother, and he has these two girls now.
Right.
Let's let them do that, right? Not the one that says, oh, I hate math. Okay, don't do the accounting. I'll do it. I like math. The one that communicates and that nurtures life and that for whom life is sacred because it happens inside your body, right? You should manage the relationship. I would much rather have a woman manage the relationship and be the one. Now, manage the relationship, not the man. I'm going to say it again. Manage the relationship, not the man. Big distinction. Women tried managing their men. You should do this.
Okay, wait a minute. I'm sorry, I need to verify something here. You said they were together 4 years, but he has an 11-year-old daughter, so that's confusing.
No, I'm saying they've been separated for a while now.
Okay, but he was with her for at least 11 years or something, right?
No,
it's time for us to talk about it. Would now be okay. Now you're not managing the man, you're just managing the relationship. That's a responsible thing to do, and I'd rather have you do that than him. He might do it. And it's kind of like, one of my friends says, you could teach maybe a chimpanzee to do heart surgery, right? But would you want him to do your heart surgery? Right? Men can manage a relationship. I'm not saying they can't. They just, they can, but women are far better equipped for that. They are. And so for that reason alone, it sort of falls upon you the duty and responsibility to sort of speak up and manage this thing. You have more at stake, too. You have more at stake. You're desirable as long as you're young and beautiful and fertile. Sorry, but that's how it works. I didn't make up these rules.
A masculine man and a man that wants
just how nature
or a mama's
designed
boy is a good way of
your
saying
value is that. And so as long as you value that, men will always value that. So you have a job to manage that as if your parents left you a huge trust account. It's your job to manage that.
Perfect formula for giving, for turning a man into a mama's boy. Not your fault. You had to be mother and father, but no matter what a great mom you were and what a great father you were, you weren't a man. And a guy needs a man when he's a boy to grow up and be a man and have him learn man things.
Okay, how long have you been in this relationship?
Yeah, and sometimes your mom will be like the sweet, kind, loving, generous one that will, help you out no matter what. And a father will be the conditional one saying, you don't do this, you don't get that, and mothers teach us how sweet life can be, and fathers teach us that life can be tough.
Hey, listen, my wife gave me a timeline. I didn't like it.
Life by being tough on it, and boys need that.
We've been going together for 3 months or so, and I need to know where this is going.
A father that will be tough on them, that'll lay down the law and make them disciplined. Otherwise, they become toxic to society. A boy that has not been fathered by a mature man will often become toxic. And early tribes knew this. Primitive people know this. There was even a great story about elephants They separated
Next,
some
right?
of the young elephants that had
Either
not yet
step
been
up
developed
or
from their
step
parents
off,
and sent
you
them
know?
to a particular park, a preserve, where they
That's
wanted
called
to
managing your life
preserve these
sometimes,
elephants.
you know?
They
Right,
found
that's
that the
true.
young
I
bull
was actually
elephants,
concerned
the
about one
male
more thing, 'cause I
elephants
was
who
talking
had been
to one of my
separated
friends
from
about it,
their
and,
parents,
the
were
fact
going
that she was
around
concerned about
killing
some of the
other
issues.
animals.
She was telling
You know,
me,
killing
if a man really
killing
wants
the
a woman
buffaloes
she
and so
really
forth.
wants you, just be like,
They'd
yes,
never
I'm
seen that in
concerned
nature
about all of these
before.
things,
Like
but don't
in
worry
nature,
about it.
elephants
I'm gonna
don't
be
go
here.
around
I'm
killing
gonna be taking
buffaloes,
care of it for
right?
you. Don't worry. You go,
But they
you know,
were
we'll
killing
do
the
this
buffaloes. They were
together,
killing
we
other
can do
animals.
this.
Okay, I got it. I told
They
you short.
brought
Should I
the
be
male,
concerned?
the
That's
fathers,
easy.
A man
the
that wants a
older
woman
elephants
is
over,
a man that
and
wants
all
a
stopped.
woman in his
They
life
learned
is
how
going to
to
do
be
whatever it
from the
takes to
older
have that
ones,
woman in
from
his
the
life.
older
And
males.
yeah,
The
if he's
females
got the
weren't killing
financial
buffaloes.
wherewithal
The
to
young
say,
males were
look,
killing the
don't worry
buffaloes,
about
right?
it.
So the
Here's
older
your plane
males
ticket. Get your
disciplined them. I
stuff
don't know what they
together.
did to
If
them,
you need some
right?
help
Because
with
they
that,
talk
I'll
elephant
fly
talk
over
or
there
something,
and
I
help
guess.
you put
But
your furniture and
it's
stuff
a
in order.
good example
Whatever it
of
is
what
you got to
happens in
do, let's get
society
this
too.
relationship
When
on
there's
the
only
road. And by
females
the way,
around,
here's a
and then
big
there's young
fat
males
guy
with
in the
no
Marine.
older
I'm
male
always
models
exaggerating
to
about the big fat
help
thing
them
because I know
guide
Persian
them,
women
then
like
they
big
become
diamonds, and I
toxic to
think you should
society.
have it. I think you should
You
have
and I go out to our car at night and we look around.
Very much.
We're not looking for females, right? We're not looking for older
All right,
married
thank
men,
you.
right?
Thanks for calling.
We're looking for
You too. Bye-bye.
unmarried
Hello, this
younger
is Gregory.
men.
You are live on the air.
If somebody's going to hurt you or become toxic in society or rip
Hi,
you
how
off
are
or
you?
something, it's probably going to be an unmarried younger man. So, especially when they band together. You didn't do anything wrong. You did the best that you could do given the tools that you have. However, whatever age he is now.
My problem is that
And where's he at about it?
actually,
I want to know what you think he is. What's his
He's
position on
actually
getting
a
married?
very
Actually, he's telling me married is just piece of paper.
Yeah, that's what guys say that don't want to put their real estate and the title of their car and their bank account on the line with a woman that they've been sleeping with for 9 years.
Yeah, like people asking me how long you guys been together. When I'm saying we've been together for 9 years.
Yeah, that's like me going down and getting my favorite car, driving it for 9 years, and then they want me to pay for it. I don't want to.
Yeah, and also, he always told me, okay,
maybe I am wrong. I don't know. Maybe
you have to understand.
Well, he's not living up to some standards that you have. However, he's living up to the standards that he has. Okay, and his standards are
I'm
not
sorry to
as
tell you, but
elevated
at
or
age,
sophisticated
37,
as yours, perhaps.
you bought into
And-
something. Okay,
Yeah.
46 and
Yes,
he's
no, I
58.
understand that.
So when you were 37, he convinced you that living with him would be a good idea and that marriage was just a piece of paper, and you've been listening to that for all this time. So it's kind of late for you to be trying to change the tide on that because he's already had the privilege for
That is a
9
problem.
years of
Yeah,
having
when an
a
11-year-old
wife without
thinks
having
her father's
anything
acting
at
like a
stake.
kid,
I mean,
that's
there's
a bit
some
of an
states
issue.
that have
Yeah,
in other words,
to put it lightly,
somebody the
being
same
a
address
husband
for a
and
certain
being a
number of
father
years,
is a
they consider
social
that half their real
skill
estate is
that
yours.
men
Good luck
are
trying to
not
get it
born with.
if you ever
Women
separated.
have a
You'd have to file a
natural
palimony
ability
suit and
to
all that
be
kind
a
of stuff.
mother
So I'm just saying,
and a
I
wife.
mean, not
It
that
just
you want
comes
to
to
get
you
married,
guys.
not
You just
divorced,
get born
but
and you grow
basically
up
you're
and you
not
make
married,
great wives and mothers.
even though
It's in
you
your
are.
genetics.
You're just
You
not married on
understand?
paper.
Yeah, it just comes
Have you guys
natural.
been true
You know,
to
I mean,
each
maybe
other
there's
for
some
9
things to
years?
learn
Yes,
about
we've
how to
been
have a
together
good
for 9
relationship with
years,
the man and
also
have him stick
now
around
he
and
brought
not
his
let him
kids.
abuse you and things
I
like
do
that. There's things to
understand
learn in that
because I got a
area,
big
but for the
package.
most
My
part, you know
children,
how
they
to take
already
care of a
grown
woman
up.
and
But
yourself
his
and
children, they
children, I'm
one
sorry,
of them
and
is
like that.
15 years
But
old,
men
and the other one
don't.
is
They don't come with
16.
that.
Have you
It's
been
not in their
acting
program.
as a mother
What's
to
in their
these children? In
program
other
is
words,
to,
do you
you know,
fix food
hunt,
for them?
kill,
Do you prepare their
rape.
clothing?
I mean, men are psychotic in many ways, and I know that a lot of people are in shock about that, but there's a dark side of men that ain't very pretty. And it's no secret because most of the laws that we have, even the laws about
The son got
marriage
separated
and children,
from who?
is mostly about protecting
How old
women
is
and
his
children
son?
from men, is it not?
The son is
Yeah,
16
you
years
know,
old.
we have
And he's
guns
been
and
married
weapons
and
and things like
separated
that.
and depressed
Not
already?
about trying to
No,
protect
actually,
ourselves
no,
from women
sorry,
and children.
I
No,
said it,
it's
no.
about protecting ourselves from
He
men,
brought his
right?
kids here.
I can
One of
say
them
as
is
a man
15, the
who
other one is
has gone
16.
through
But,
many processes.
the
I started
16
studying
years old
martial
has
arts at an
depression.
early
That's
age
what he is
and
going to
studied and then
hurt him.
taught that
I
later
see.
on in my
What
life.
is his ability
Not
to
so I
have-
could learn how to fight, but so I could learn how to control my own aggressive, violent nature as a man. You know, so I can learn how to control that and channel it into positive and creative things that actually help society and help other people. And, you know, at the same time, use
why
that
don't
to
you
protect
mind?
myself
Why
and
don't you
others
mind?
and
When
so
you
forth,
say
but
that
I
to
would
me,
learn to
I
not
hear a
be
whole bunch of
violent,
stuff that a lot of
aggressive
other
person.
people
You know,
don't
because
hear.
men
You
have
know,
what
I
I
have
hear.
to say he's not violent.
You say it
He's
doesn't
kind. He's
matter
very
to
kind.
me
The
that
only
he's
thing I
taking care
feel
of his
that
son
he
and that he wants you to
needs
wait and that
be
you've
a
lived with him for
protector,
9
he
years.
needs to
What
be
I
a-
hear
he needs
is
to
somebody
be
who
focused
hasn't
on his
valued
kids,
themselves
and he
as a
needs to
woman,
know
who hasn't
social values,
valued
I believe.
the sanctity
And maybe
and
somehow,
the privilege and honor it
he
is to
has-
have
what I
a
taught him,
lovely,
it's all
loving,
gone
devoted,
awry.
sexy,
Well,
fun,
I don't want you to
loving
beat
woman
yourself
around
up, please,
that, you know,
okay?
lives
Because
in your
you
house and
have
sleeps with
given
you
him
and
everything
helps
you had to
take
give,
care of your
right?
life.
Did you hold back anything from this guy?
Very important privilege that
Well, wait.
throughout
That's
history have
like
paid a
if I
very
took
high
you out
price
to the
have.
archery
He
range
hasn't
right now,
paid
and you'd
that
never
price.
shot a bow and
He's
arrow in
got
your
that
life,
for free.
and I said,
You
that's
gave
the
it to
target,
him
and your
because
job's to hit a
you,
bullseye here.
madame,
And gave you a
don't
bow and arrow.
value
What do you think
yourself.
your
You haven't
chances are of
valued
hitting
yourself.
that?
You haven't looked in the mirror and said, you know, you're really
Right?
somebody.
So,
you
you
have
know,
a
life
great
says,
deal
okay,
of
here's a
value.
kid, no
I'm
husband,
only
nothing.
going to open
Go
my
do the
heart
best you
and
can,
my
right?
body
You would aim
and
the
my
best you
soul
could,
to
and
a
you may
man
hit it or you may
who
not.
is
You know,
as
your
devoted
job
to
as
this
a
relationship
parent
and
is
to
aim
making sure
the
that
best
our
you
lives
can, okay? The
prosper
best you
together
can. Give him
as I
everything
am.
you got.
Put yourself
I am still
beneath
the mother,
by
and
making
I
him
still need
more
to
important than you,
redirect
and so
this
he
man,
gets all the
okay?
privileges, and
That
you
you're the last
basically get
person on
nothing.
earth
If he
that can
said,
do anything
"Get
about
out,"
it.
would you
I
even
can't do
have
anything about it.
anything?
You're the
No, I
last
don't.
person on earth
You don't
that
have
will
anything,
be able to
right?
get
Except
him to
unless he
change.
gives it to you.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So now
unless he
I-
gives
He'll
it to
listen
you.
to
He
just about
decides to be a
anybody
jerk
but
and
you.
take it all and leave you with
and then he
nothing.
says, well,
You got
Mama,
nothing,
you're not
all right?
listening to me.
And
You're
at
not doing
46
this.
is a little bit
You
late to
just
be
say
thinking
what you
about
wanna
this.
say.
I'm sorry
And
to
stuff
be
like
hard
that. So
on you
I
like this,
just-
but hey,
okay, I
snap
just-
out of
He
it.
might listen to me. He might listen to somebody else, but he won't listen to you.
Listening to you.
Yeah.
In my life. I mean, I don't need his money. I don't need. I have my everything. But
Okay,
th-
the
it's
only
good
thing that you
if
really
you have
can
your-
do is
your own
expose him
stuff.
to it.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
I really
And say, hey,
love
this is
him,
something
and
that I
then-
think is so
Well, if you want to be
helpful,
married,
and, you know,
that's
you can
one thing.
recommend it,
If
you
you want to
can
be
point him in
married
that
to
direction.
him, that's
You
an
can-
entirely other thing.
You can send him a link
Okay?
to my
If you have
website.
your
You
own
know,
finances,
you
have
can
the
send him a link to my
wherewithal
website and
move
say, hey,
into your
check
own
this guy
space
out or something like
with your own
that.
furniture,
Like
your
aiming
own
the arrow,
parking
you can
spot,
only
your own
point it
television,
and aim
and your own
it
kitchen,
and
and
let
your
it
own
fly.
career, and
I
everything
think that
else.
he is ready because
Then
he's very
that's
frustrated with
something
himself.
else. That's
And but he does not
that's
want to
actually
come
a
out
good
and
thing.
say it.
I hope
He's
that you
very
have that.
Yes,
intelligent. I
I'm
mean,
financially.
captain
I
is
have
very
my
very
job
charming
and
and all of that.
I
Okay, great.
Like, I have my house and I don't really.
Okay, good.
I don't really need his.
Okay, good.
Money I'll go to live with him or.
Okay, that's great. That's great. If I were you, I would say,
Yeah, that's
if I'm
not
not
good.
married,
But even if he was the best father in the
next
world,
6
sometimes
months,
girls
then
become
I'm
hostile
going to
towards
move
their
back to
fathers
my
anyhow.
house.
Right? But it's not good. Yes, it's definitely not good.
In fact, for you, I would say
She
3
needs to
months.
have a-
You know what I
a
mean? Give me
male
time to
figure in
plan
her
some
life
kind of
that she
wedding,
can
but just say, you
respect
know
and
what?
look up
You're
to
taking on
and trust.
something that I didn't sign up for. I did not sign up to take care of a 16-year-old depressed guy. Sorry.
And also, you know what? I really want to be with
Yeah,
him
I
and
got
help
it.
him for his children.
He
But
doesn't do
his
it.
children just so disrespectful. They disrespect me so many times in front of their father, and their father telling, oh, you don't say anything. I'm the one. I have to talk to them.
Yeah, you're the slave.
Yes. I mean,
You are.
He said,
You're in a codependent relationship in which a codependent
That's so great.
relationship,
Yeah, that's
there's
great.
always one
Well,
person
it
who's
sounds like
the
you're on the right
100%,
track.
the star, the one.
Thank you very much
And
for
the other
taking the
person
time.
is always
You bet.
zero.
Thank you for your
Another
call
name
and
for
for your
this,
trust.
there's called a
Okay,
codependent
definitely. I'll call
relationship.
you.
I also
Okay.
call it
Bye-bye.
0-100.
That's it. That's
And
the
another
end of
way
We'll
of
Talk
saying
for
it is
today.
master
Thank you for your
slave.
calls.
Okay?
Thanks for watching
And
the
guess
show,
which one
and
you
I will
are?
see you back here again
Yeah,
next week.
and so
I love you.
look, if you don't value yourself, how was anybody else? Your only job right now as a 46-year-old woman, and I'm assuming that you're attractive and that because 46-year-old women I'm 58, so they're looking pretty good to me these days. You know, I'm sure that you're still a fine-looking woman and